In 1908, a school and hospital campus in eastern Pennsylvania opened to the public. For many years, this institution was actually favorable in the eyes of the public. That is, until 1968, when a 5-part television news report aired and revealed the horrors and mistreatment that went on behind closed doors. This place's name, Pennhurst.
We have had reports of people being pushed, poked, hair pulled,
and forget them while they decay from neglect. But the archaic practices of segregation and custodial care are still with us, and seemingly with the approval of society.
This place was so horrible, the director of the news report stated this. And we start shooting and my crew was mortified. I mean, I had trouble keeping them on the job because they were literally getting sick from what they saw. Or when Jim Conroy, a medical sociologist, visited the site a few years later for research. He said, "I drove up in 1970 in my dad's blue Chevy, and I saw a place with 3,700 people that was built for far, far fewer. And I saw things that I will never forget." The Pennhurst State School and Hospital was meant to be for the mentally and physically disabled. Its message was to help those that were unfortunately born with these conditions. In reality, Pennhurst was a part of a larger plan to segregate individuals with intellectual and development issues. At that point in time, they were rudely referred to as defective, unfit, and degenerates. Pennhurst has a deep, dark, and in-depth history. However, today I want to prioritize one question. Is it haunted? It's rumored that Pennhurst is haunted because the souls that resided there were tortured and outcast. Many patients actually died there, which raises another question. Do ghosts actually haunt the places where they die? The answer to which is not necessarily, but it's very possible. Michael Mayerfield, Michael. The scenes we pass through each day are inhabited, possessed by spirits we cannot see, but whose presence we will nevertheless experience. Some places will undoubtedly have more spiritual presence than others. The definition of haunted is simply a place frequented by ghosts. It's hard to decipher what would and wouldn't be haunted. I mean, only 40% of US citizens actually believe in the existence of ghosts. However, I think it's safe to assume by stereotypical ghostly expectations that if a place could be haunted, Pennhurst would absolutely be haunted. There's countless examples to prove that anything to do with children and dead children and prior mistreatment of dead children is absolutely eaten up by the horror genre. So I think this hell of a place for the patients at Pennhurst would certainly constitute as forging a haunted environment. That's hell like hell of like hell like the underworld, not like hell of a place in like a good way. Pennhurst is now a public location, and though I haven't really been there, I don't think the environment really gives off a vibe of being haunted. The campus was bought out by 2 separate corporations, one of which has the goal of preserving the memory of the past horrors that took place at Pennhurst. It's a museum, and it's there so that we remember the atrocities that went on at the school. However, the other half of the campus was monetized. It's now a haunted house. There's a lot of debates on this, like whether or not it was right, or who should tell the story of Pennhurst, and is it okay for them to buy out this historical monument and turn it into like an attraction. I'm not going to give my opinion on that today, but I'll link some articles to discuss it below. I don't think that the ghosts are particularly unhappy about the museum half of the campus, and even if there was like enraged ghosts at the haunted house part, I don't think you would notice the paranormal activity because it would kind of blend in with the artificially made fear and scary environment that's been created. One of my favorite channels, Yes Theory, this is actually their merch. They made a video about Pennhurst, and if you look past the editing and their fear prior to going in, not much really happened. So the general consensus at the end of this video was that it's not technically haunted. There's no real way to prove it's haunted, but the general consensus is that it's haunted, so there'd be no reason in trying to change its reputation. But the real evil and the real paranormal activity is the twisted nature of the people that ran Pennhurst. But I have different news now. While looking for more footage, I came across more sources, and the new consensus is that as scientifically definite as we can get of the definition of haunted, this place is haunted. The person that directed the Yes Theory group and does a lot of tours through the area has described physical interactions that people have had with ghosts.
I advise you to use 2 hands to hold your cameras while you're here. Things will knock it out of your hand.
What?
Yes.
Are
Are you serious?
It absolutely has happened. The majority of any spirits here would be the spirits of children who passed away here, which is an inordinate amount because children with special needs have a higher rate of death due to complications in the early parts of their life. So there was a lot of tragedy here, a huge amount of tragedy here.
Has anyone ever been physically harmed?
Yes.
What?
We have had reports of people being pushed, poked, hair pulled. I've actually seen bite marks on the back of a person's arm.
Also, they've sent in real professionals with like ghost equipment, and the readings have gone insane. This place, more than anywhere else in the world, is haunted.
Truly, in the circles that follow the paranormal, Pennhurst is regarded as one of the most haunted places on Earth.
Now, the haunted reputation is real.
Some of our investigators will come in, they'll do great, really scientific investigations, cameras and measuring devices, and they'll show me evidence that I can't explain.
So, yeah. Thanks for watching.